Alright, for this video I am going to test out a new mic that I've gotten. I will also be playing Mini Motorways. I'm just going to play Warsaw. Here. Figured out how to get cursor to show up on video. And so I'm going to just give this a shot. I'm currently top 162, so I don't anticipate getting a record or anything like that, but I'm going to give it a shot and see what we can do. Give some tips and tricks for Mini Motorways Warsaw. So I'm going to play at 3 times speed for a while. One of the biggest tips and tricks I find is to redraw roads as necessary. The way I just did this, all of the roads directly connect to houses, so there are no intersections created here. Intersections slow everything down, so we don't want that. Seems like the game sounds might have cut out. There we go. In Warsaw particularly, you're going to want to use bridges until you have a bank of 3 or 4, and then you choose a different option. Of course, if a motorway is given as an option, consider that. I like to create longer off-ramps if I am combining roads. That way it's less likely that the traffic is going to get all bunched up. Usually I'll play at 3 times speed until about 500 trips, and then I'll slow it down. I actually prefer this layout. This way the long road is at the very end of the road. If you go to the left, then you create an intersection. This way, there's no intersection. Only one house has to drive farther. So if I get a motorway, I'd consider branching off a bunch of these and going directly towards the shop that has the circle. Here we go. Just gotta be prepared to adapt. So as opposed to having two colors on one road, I use my motorway to avoid that whole situation. Create this little offshoot so I can attach any new buildings. And since that's a long road, doing it this way creates no intersections, which is preferred. I'm going to pause real quick here. Too many houses and shops are spawning at the same time, so gotta get a little pause on to take care of business before all the bad spawns make me lose. Alright, so we're going to combine these grays and blues like this. We're back in business. These two grays will supply the one on the far right, and I will go back to the old way over here. There we go. I'm not sure why the sound, I don't hear the sound of the game. Not sure why. So let's see, we have no bridges, so we're going to have to combine roads here like this. And we'll do that for now. Never be afraid to redraw your roads to get optimal layout. Yeah. If you can avoid colors overlapping, then it will be in your best interest once things get really crazy. Alright, so I'm going to do some redrawing here. Everything's happening quickly, so we're going to take all of these with this motorway connected down here like that, not like that. That'll work for now. Alright, so should be back, able to utilize all of the houses currently. Alright, I've got 2. I'm going to go ahead and connect those to this one. Move that motorway over while the demand is still low. Give us 3 houses to the one on the left, 4 to the one on the right, and these 3 on the bottom should be fine for now, especially since they're so close. Choose a bridge since we don't have one currently. Alright, as I'm approaching 500 trips here, I do not want to keep it at 3 times speed much longer. Alright, I'm gonna change it to 2 times speed for now. Alright. Take those 2 closest pinks. Alright, so we've got these 3 pinks going up here. I'm going to draw a new bridge here. Take my next roundabout. Delete this bridge and we'll draw a new one. And connect it into this roundabout, giving them their own road. This will eliminate some traffic problems in the future. Okay. Just disconnect these blues here. Let these 4 feed that new one. These 4 with a short road should be close enough. Alright. If I get another bridge, I'll take these 3 pinks, bring them down over here. Alright. When I'm doing a major road overhaul like this, I always pause the game. If I get another bridge, I'll connect those yellows into this. I'm going to switch. So I move the motorway over to the circle in preparation for when the demand is higher. Don't have another bridge. I would like to take these top 3 pinks and bridge over here. As we're approaching 1,000, the demand is still pretty low, but you got to look at all of the different shops and see which ones are performing the worst now before the demand really increases. Make any changes you can make now while it's still slow. So in anticipation of one of these two going circle, I'm going to get rid of that and add a motorway in connecting to these two. That way these 4 are only feeding one shop. That means I'm never going to use this bridge here. And now I got a bridge, so I'm going to connect in some purples there. I'm gonna have to forget that idea because I'm gonna need the bridge over here. We'll just steal from this group up at the top. Alright, so hopefully the sound quality is loud enough that you can actually understand what I'm saying, and I don't have to speak too much louder. We're approaching 1200. Everything's looking pretty good right now. I would like to see a bridge or two in the bank in case I need it. This spawn actually shows, you know, that river right through the middle. Sometimes it'll spawn farther to the left. Seems like this game, if you have it in 3 times speed, it'll actually spawn way faster. You'll have multiple shops spawning faster than it should. So I gained a house down here, much shorter, so the chances of these houses being needed over here are much lower. So since this one just upgraded to a circle, it's still straight from it. Alright, so we've got pinks. Thinking about adding a roundabout here and rerouting those yellows through this. I think I will. So I'm gonna temporarily delete this bridge. And then route this yellow this direction. When my bridge comes back, I'll reconnect it over here, and then that'll give me more options for what I do with the pinks over here. That bridge won't go away and become available until all of the cars are back in their homes. Alright. If you try to do that once the demand is really high later in the game, you will lose. So keep that in mind. So now we have these yellows going into the same roundabout as the pinks that are going over here. We actually have 7 houses feeding 2 circle pink shops, so I'm gonna use one of the motorways. Get these going over here. We'll eliminate the need for the ones that are really far away. Alright, so we have yellows going down here, pinks going down here. No, so no yellows are using that road anymore. So we have blue and pink combining on this roundabout going up here. It's not ideal to have 2 colors going into the same entrance on this shop up here. If this pink upgrades, we'll have to use a motorway and bring pinks in on the other side, or bring blues in on the other side. Actually, what we'll end up doing is taking these blues down here through a motorway to the right side. I'm actually going to do that now. I think that's the best solution. So motorway 5 will go to the right side of these shops. So now we are left with unused roads over here. Alright, so now These pinks have a direct access to the left side, blues to the right. We have a new pink shop. We have no new pinks spawned. So I'm just going to steal one of these for now. Hopefully something will spawn and I'll be able to use it. Alright, I'm going to take the two yellows that are farthest away from where they're going. So we have two yellow here, three yellows going down to this one, four going to this one, and three going. So that's about as even as we're going to get. The highest concentration of yellows is going to the circle shop, which has the most potential for demand. Pinks, let's double check that again. We've got 4, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to just take these three and bring them up there. Delete this motorway. It's not doing us any favors. Alright, so I'm going to redraw a new bridge for the blue shop. This. Alright. These houses are not going to be using this long road anytime soon. So we'll get rid of those. And they can go up here and feed this shop that has higher potential for demand. All right. Just crossed 2,000 trips. 2 motorways in the bank, which is very good. If any of these upgrade, we should be prepared to meet the extra demand. I do wish there was an option for toggling the transparency of the motorways, but there's not currently an option to do that. So these grays here, 2 gray shops. I'm trying to think of a way I can segregate those. I don't currently see one. None of these open areas right here will spawn any houses because they're not more than 2 blocks from a shop. So it'd be a prime candidate for a road, but not really much future for spawns for houses there. About half an hour in at 2,260 trips. As you can see, I don't do any blocking of any kind to prevent spawns from showing up wherever they're going to show up. I think it's more fun to just beat the game naturally. So we had another upgraded shop up here. We got 6 going to this circle, 9 feeding 2 circles. I think we're going to have to allocate another motorway and attach it to the back side there. I think that will take some of these houses on the far right and make them more likely to be used. There will probably be more spawns. So we have 4 and 5. As far as numbers going over there, they can still go to either shop. So based on the game's demand, I think that's the best way to do it. They can go to either shop. So going forward, it'd be nice to see some more blue spawns down there. Can't really control where they're gonna come. See if we can fit a roundabout in here. We cannot. One thing we could do would be to add a motorway directly and then remove this intersection, so any grays that are going to this shop will drive there directly, and then any that need to go to this higher demand shop will take the motorway. Just trying to utilize every house possible. Since this road is so short, even if this one turns circle, those 3 would feed it and it would not cause me to lose the game. This gray down here seems like that'd be too long of a road to actually do any good, so I'm just not going to use that one. We're getting to the point in the game where it's just going to start randomly spawning colored houses wherever they can. It'll just start filling up the whole screen, and then eventually one of these shops will increase in demand so much that you just lose. That's the way the game has been programmed. Back in the past, you could just play indefinitely once you reach a level of sustainability. The first level of the game, I'm drawing a blank on what it was called, but I would reach a state of indefinite points, and you just play until you're bored and get all the points you want. Mini Motorways programmers have changed it so you can't do that anymore. Well, I've seen some people get indefinite games on special challenges, you know, when there's unlimited number of roundabouts and things like that, and you can game the system, but it blocks spawns of very many of the houses. Back when I first started playing this game, I wasn't concerned so much about my score as my trips per minute up until I got to the point where there was no way to improve it. And I think that was a more accurate way to tell how well your map was doing. So the more trips per minute were being completed, the better you did. And then that was directly, it directly correlated to getting as many shops spawning as possible and then having the maximum efficiency of layout. This point, 3,200, I don't know if there's room for any other shops to actually spawn. I think in the top right you could technically get a spawn right there, a shop with a road sticking out in this direction or matching up onto this. I don't know if it will spawn one or not. If it does, we can make it work. At this stage, I'm mostly just looking for any shops that are struggling and trying to see if there's any way I can just tweak it a little bit to get a better layout. Like this blue shop here could use another spawn or two. I think a blue could spawn here or here. Or it could start getting pockets of them farther out, and now I've got a motorway to play with. So if anything is really struggling, that will be an option here. I like to see blue spawns. In my next video, I'm going to try to see why this sound, I can't hear the sound, I don't know. It looks like in the mixer that you might be able to see the sound, so, or hear the sound, so let me know. Well, I guess I'll just rewatch it and know whether or not the sound is actually working or not. It's a bit of a disadvantage not having the sound because you can't really tell if any of these shops are about to go until they do. So let's see what we can do. I'm gonna try to steal some grays for that far right side. It looks like these three and this one down here are not being used at all, so I'm going to take a motorway here, go directly to that shop. I need to cut that off so that all these are not going. Alright. So we have an extra 3 houses now. I didn't hook up this 4th one. I don't think I can unless I disconnect this motorway. I suppose it could be worth it going forward. So I moved the motorway. It'll have to clear all of the traffic from those houses, and then I can draw this road in, fill it in. The demand is really going to start punching up here at 4,000 trips. trying to keep these motorways even amount of traffic side to side. That motorway is taking quite a... Oh, there's one more car. And there we go. So that should disappear in a second. I'll be able to reuse that motorway. Oh no, it's probably using a couple from up top. Hopefully I don't lose before the motorway is drawn. This late in the game, if you redraw a motorway, you are likely to lose just because it takes so long for all of the cars that were predetermined to drive down that motorway for them to get through. There we go. So I didn't lose. Now I've got 4 new gray houses going to here. I don't think any of them will drive the full length. I'm going to watch and see if any of them do go left and then try to take the other. Yeah, I lost. 42.55. So I lost because I redrew a motorway too late in the game. Once the demand is that high, it's just, you just can't do that. So 42.56, take a screenshot. And I'll just call that a video. Thanks for watching if you did, and let me know if there's anything I can do to make the video better. Let me know how the sound quality is and all that. Thanks.